there's also another topic that we need to thresh out. And this is with regards to the issue that the PSDBM favored Chinese suppliers over that of local manufacturers in the procurement of PPEs and face masks. I would like to ask Attorney Lloyd Lau. Attorney Lloyd Lau, are you with us? Or Deputy Ombudsman Leong, are you with us? Attorney Lau.
Attorney, present, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. To the issue that the procurement of PPEs and face masks fell into the favor of Chinese suppliers. Can you shed light into this issue?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we started the procurement process under Bayanihan 1 or under emergency procurement before the passage of Bayanihan 1, DOH actually transferred the procurement to PSDBN precisely because they could not procure it themselves kasi walang supply sa Pilipinas. If we remember, I think the entire Filipino community, even the doctors and the health personnel and the frontliners would recall, last year po, kahit private sector, kahit government sector, kahit private individual, wala pong nahanap na surgical mask, PPEs, or that like, or kahit mga gloves during the time na magagamit nila sa mga hospitals or pang day-to-day nila na activity. So when it was passed to PSDBM, we tried to procure it. Legally, when you go to the Philippine market, wala pong manufacturer. If you look at it's a ang tawag namin bid issued by the DTI yan. DTI has records on manufacturers of these PPEs. There are 9 sets to 10 sets na binibili natin. Wala po ni isa dyan na mina-manufactured within the Philippines during the time. So lahat po ng
So in other words, Attorney Lau, what you're saying is by March of 2020, there was scarcity.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Not enough PPEs, face masks, and protective gear available in the Philippines.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, the first incidence of the Wuhan virus was reported around November 2019 in China. Hindi pa po ito pandemic, sa China meron na. Nung tumakbo na po yung panahon, saka na po nagkaroon ng contamination ang ibang parte ng mundo. At dahil nauna magkaroon ng Wuhan or COVID-19 sa China, sila din ang unang bansa na nakagawa ng mga PPEs, ng mga protected gear, ng mga face mask, dahil naranasan nila yon. So sa makatuwid, nung nangailangan na po ang bansang Pilipinas ng protective gear, I don't think it's fair to say that we favored China because China was the only supplier of those materials at that time. And I even remember there was this news article that we read that the US government was trying to purchase face masks 3 times the value para lang mabigay ito sa mga Amerikano. So, sadyang may kakulangan nung panahong yon. Ngayon, Yusek Lau, my question. When our local industry was able to adjust and see the demand in our country, were we able to purchase locally produced face masks made in the Philippines?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There are local manufacturers who started repurposing their business to manufacture PPEs. The first one who was very aggressive is EMS. So EMS, when he made a proposal na he was very aggressive na, kayanin ko yan, I will help the Filipino people. It was on April that he went to our office. I think he was referred to us by DTI because DTI and PSTBM together with DOI was trying to ask local manufacturers and local businessmen to help the Filipino or the Philippines produce or be self-sufficient in this matter. So, nauna si EMS. So, EMS actually had a contract with us despite na wala pa siyang kapasidad because he wanted to help. And in fact, we entered into a contract with him. So, we entered the contract with him on mid-April. He started delivering only on June 1.
You got cut there, Attorney Lau. When did EMS start delivering? Naputol kasi yung...
June 1 po. June 1 po siya nag-start na mag-deliver.
So what you're saying is April, May, June, 3 buwan bago nakapag-deliver.
Technically 2 months po. 2 months.
2 months, okay.
60 days. And he started delivering at least 1 million, abot siya ng 2 million, hanggang nag-stabilize tayo ng 8.5. That's what we've been raising before, kahit sa Senate inquiry, that when we started buying from local manufacturer like EMS, we stopped procuring from importers or foreign suppliers with respect to surgical masks. Then later on po, I think sometime mid-October or September, meron din isang manufacturer, I think it's a construction company, Sunwest Construction, had the aggressiveness also to say, we will be producing N95 masks, which was very scarce during the time. And when they made that proposal to DTI, which was endorsed to us, we also were very happy. And that's the time we also procured to them the locally manufactured N95 masks. And when we started buying from them, wala na tayo hindi na po tayo, we already refrained from buying imported.
So, yun po yung sinasabi ni Congressman Garbin kanina, that it was around middle part of 2020 when prices started to decrease, to stabilize, because supply started to increase.
Yes,
and you mentioned our local manufacturers started to produce as well.
Yes, po. Yes, that is
okay. Very good. So, and you mentioned also, Attorney Lau, that can you just tell me how many companies were awarded supply contracts for PPEs and for face masks, respectively?
Sa PPEs po, umabot po tayo ng at least 17 companies.
17?
PPE
17.
Yes.
Okay, next. Sa face mask naman?
Face mask, we have at least 8 companies. Consistent companies po na nag-deliver sa atin.
8 kumpanya.
Yes po.
Yung Pharmaly po ba siyang may pinakamalaking nakuhang supply contract?
No po. No. Pharmaly, we're only having deals, contracts with them. We dealt with them, I think, early on the pandemic because we were dependent on importation. Later on po, their sales became insignificant. Actually, sa surgical face mask, I think 0.4 or 4% lang yung supply nila na total supply sa entire demand ng Philippines. Kasi I think the biggest is an importer, local importer, si Hafid and Erasmus. And the second biggest is si EMS, which is a local manufacturer. That is with respect to...
Is it safe to say that the allegations that Pharmaly was the preferred supplier incorrect?
Yes, that is very inaccurate statement.
Inaccurate. Thank you very much, Yusek Lau. I just want to make a manifestation before I proceed with my questions, Chairman. It has come to my attention that, and it breaks my heart, that photos of children were posted on a Senate hearing of supposed uh, owners of Farmally. Tapos pinakita rin din po doon yung di umanong mga sasakyan na pagmamayari ng bumubuo ng kumpanyang Farmally. I have to say this, Mr. Chair, because I think it is not right. Kasi unang-una wala namang kinalaman yung mga bata. Pangalawa, kung meron man pong mga nag-iisip ng hindi maganda, na sana naman po hindi mangyari. At ipagdadasal ko po na sana hindi mangyari. Sa laki ng pondong pinag-uusapan at sinasabi na natanggap o ano man yon, Mr. Chair, I hope that we as legislators be more prudent in showing, in exhibiting documents, photos, or whatever, because this may cause undue danger, stress to the families involved. So anyway, I will continue, Yusek Lau. Attorney Lau. Earlier it was mentioned that
10 minutes, Congressman Suarez.
2 minutes? 10, okay. Earlier it was mentioned that Farmally in the middle of 2019 had a capitalization of 625,000. Why did you award that contract to Farmally despite these facts?
First, when we initially awarded at least yung 500,000 face mask, the reason we awarded it is a judgment call. It's a judgment call. Kasi kailangan natin ng mask. Merong tao nag-deliver ng mask. It is no longer incumbent upon my person to ask, kaya mo bang mag-deliver? May financial capacity ka ba to deliver? Because the items are already on hand. That's why we ask him, kung totoo kaya mo mag-deliver, sabi mo on hand, pakita mo. Prove to us that you have it on hand. Kasi madaling magsabi na meron akong stock. And true to his word, on the 25th day, on March 25, after office hours, nag-show proof siya sa PSDB and pinadala niya doon, pinakita niya na nandun ang item. In fact, he left it there as proof na on hand siya. So that by itself is more than enough. Di ba? Kasi kung financial capacity ang pag-uusapan, we will check. Pag nag-promise ka, kaya mo ba mag-deliver? May pera ka ba talagang bumili para ibigay sa amin or ibenta sa amin? But on this instance, dala na niyo yung items. So that is more than enough. It's not an issue of financial capacity already. It's already an issue of the items are existing. Because during the time when Bayanihan 1 was passed, ang primordial purpose talaga, bakit ginawa itong batas ng Kongreso at ng Senado, is to make sure as early as possible time or the soonest possible time, makarating ang mga PPE. Kasi nga, during that time, as of April 2 only, 17 doctors have already died.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Lau. We've already explored and exhausted that point anyway, yung requirements sa panahon yon. Next question, what other documents did Farmally submit to your office?
They submitted income tax return, which is proof that they are doing business in the Philippines. Mayor's permit, which proves that they are duly registered in an LGU where their principal office is located. And the omnibus sworn statement is proof that they know the technical specifications of the items that we are.
Are these all required by law?
No. During emergency cases, negotiated procurement, especially on Bayanihan 1, these items, these documents which we required are not mandated by law to be provided to us. Hindi po siya required, in short.
Okay. So now, how will you be able to determine the legal capacity of Farmally?
One, we will know that they have legal capacity is if they are registered with the local with an LGU. Kasi doon sila naka-office. Pangalawa, ITR, nagbabayad sila ng tax. It means they are operating. So with those two facts, that is enough to know that they have legal standing. Di ba? Kung tao, birth certificate. Kung sila, meron silang mayor's permit. They are existing. They have a principal base of business and nagbabayad sila ng IPR.
Okay. So, what about their financial capacity?
With respect to financial capacity, one, in the first place, it is not required under Bayanihan 1, neither in emergency cases or negotiated procurement. Ang ginamit natin na batayan yan talaga is whether or not they have the stocks on hand. It's the issue on the capacity to deliver. And the fact that they are already having the items ready for delivery, it solves a lot of multiple questions.
So, ang sinasabi po ninyo, Attorney Lau, what is paramount is the availability of stocks rather than the qualification of suppliers. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because that's what the law intended us to do, to make sure that we get the items fast. Expeditiously is the term.
Which we did.
Which we did. We are able to get it very, very fast, and we were able to deliver these items to DOH and respectively arrive to the respective doctors, health personnel, and frontliners.
Attorney Lau, kilala mo ba yung stockholders ng Pharmaly?
No.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Don't forget, you're under oath, huh?
Yes, sir. I know, I am under oath.
Did you know that the directors of Pharmaly sought the help of Michael Yang?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know Michael Yang?
No, I do not know him, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know Wang Zhu Yan, yung chairman ng Pharmaly?
No, Mr. Chairman. I do not know.
Have you met him?
No, Mr. Chairman.
You have not met him.
I haven't met him, Mr. Chairman.
Did you award contracts to other suppliers other than Pharmaly?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And these were the ones that you enumerated earlier, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
3 minutes.
So, with that being said, Attorney Lau, thank you for your time. No? With that being said, Mr. Chairman, kaya ko po gustong i-stress yung point na ito ay unang-una po ay pinalalabas po kasi na overpriced. Napatunayan natin hindi. Sinasabi naman nila ngayon favored yung isang kumpanya. Malinaw naman po na hindi naman favored yung kumpanya. In fact, mayroong mga kumpanya na mas malaki pa po ang natanggap na supply contract. Sinasabi naman po na doon naman po sa pag-award ng kontrata ay questionable po. Malinaw po na ayon na rin po sa batas, sumunod naman po sa proseso. So, Mr. Chair, following your call and the statements that you made earlier, I hope that we can really put an end to this topic already. I mean, what else do we need to show? Obviously, from where I stand, you know, it's starting to become and be used as a political circus already. When our resource persons here, the Secretary of Health, I think Secretary Galvez is also here, may mga representatives pa sa DOH, Vince Dizon is here, they should be attending to COVID and pandemic. Instead of attending to COVID and pandemic, they're attending committee hearings for issues that we have already showed and clearly explained na wala naman pong problema. So, wag na po natin aksayin sana yung panahon at oras ng mamamayan sa mga bagay-bagay na kung may nakikita silang mali, di maghablaan na lang. Kaso lang, tutukan natin yung problema ng bayan, which is COVID response and the pandemic, Mr. Chair. So